kind of missed. But that's not a bad thing. It's always the silent majority. The silent majority, sometimes we know a closed mouth don't get fed, but it's what you think about at the end of the day, what's in your heart and your mind to go home and do the right thing. So I know there's a lot of pressures with your spouses as far as where you are, what's going on, and those types of things, and we're going to let you know where we are and the things that I believe we need to do. We are making an impact. Do not downplay the pressure and everything that we've done over the last 3 weeks regarding what the Red Cross is doing. They're struggling, but the problem is with $2 billion or more, they can outweigh us, they can outspend us, they can do all those other things. But there is no greater power than people power. There's nothing equal to the power of the people.
Yes!
Nothing equal to the power of the people.
Nothing equal to the power of the people.
There's
Nothing equal to the power of the people.
So there's strength in numbers. So you're going to see what we have going on regarding our brother, Mr. Parker, Mike Parker, that you heard from last week. He's got some good information to share with you. So brother Mike, come on up here and you can do all your other good stuff that you always do. Watch your head. You're taller than me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It makes me proud to stand here with you guys today. It really does. It touches me on what you're going through. I see the looks on your faces. I can imagine the stress you're going through. From Lansing, we've had our strike vote. We were ready to go. We were waiting for some other things to get lined up logistically so that the whole building goes out. As Al mentioned, the other union in Lansing has not completed all their strike votes. They are coming on board. I talked to the guy coming down here this morning. He has assured me that that will be done within a day or two, that they will complete their strike votes. We are ready to go. The Teamsters in Lansing are ready. We're on board. We're getting our committees lined up. We're trying to come up with, our support committees and whatnot amongst the group. We've reached out to the other people in the community. We've reached out to the other members in our local. They are supportive of the Red Cross workers, both in Lansing and here. So we're with you. We're not going away. Things are lining up like Al said. I want to stress what he said. Don't downplay the pressure that has been put on this employer. And don't downplay the way things are lining up. I know it never goes quick enough. I can imagine the stress you're under. I can see it on your faces. I've been praying for you every day. And I'm going to keep doing that. And I think it's, and everybody's mentioned it, justice. Justice, justice. You are standing for the right things out here. This employer is trying to strip away your very right to collectively bargain over your wages. If you can imagine, this year you have a wage, you come in next year and all of a sudden your health care's gone up $200 a month. You just had a wage cut. You didn't get to bargain over that wage cut. They're trying to take away that right. That is a right you have under the federal law. You have it under the state laws in Ohio. You have a right to effectively, collectively bargain. They're trying to strip that away from you. You cannot let it happen. I know you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, it's easy for him to say all these words. He's not out here on the front line with us. You know what? We are out here with you. You are on the front line, though. It is your fight. It is your fight to win or your fight to lose. It is your fight. We will support you. We will be in it with you. But you need to stand strong. If you stand strong, we all stand strong, and we win. Justice is on your side. We are on your side, and we're going to win this thing. Thank you.
And before I go through trying to tie up any loose ends, I want to assure you that if you talk to Dale Parker from Toledo, the UFCW, he had to leave because he had some other meetings, but he came for a show of solidarity, which was great. I wish he would have told me he was leaving, because I'd much rather give him the microphone very early on, but I talked to him a little while ago, and he told me he talked to a lot of you, is that Toledo is ready to go. They took theirs, they're just waiting on, just like Mike Parker said. Just like Mike said, this is Mike Parker, Dale Parker. And they're just waiting. We're waiting for 4:59. Now here's where we are. I was on the call, the reason, and I wasn't late. Okay, so what I was still trying to tie up some loose ends, waiting for a group in Detroit. I think everybody's aware of what's going on in Detroit. They're represented not only by a Teamster local that really can't do anything because they're already in the contract, but the UAW, the United Auto Workers, they represent the lab. And just so you know what took place, unfortunately, and I got a hold of, really got in the union officials' butt a little bit, because what happened is some of the things that Mike is doing, some of the things that Lance is doing, the 14 or 15 contracts that's 2 or 3 years old, I commend these guys, because what they made a decision on doing was not bringing some bull crap back to you, because how can they say with a conscience of representing you at a high level when they know at the end of the year, at the end of every month, you're subject to be $15,000 or $20,000 short. So they got some of these union officials doing the Red Cross's dirty work versus trying to bring some real justice, knowing that they can do better, and we're not asking for a whole lot. We said to them we're willing to not even take a pay increase. We're willing to look at that pension issue. We're looking at all those things as a higher cost value versus giving you affordable and accessible health care coverage. Now, so how anal can they be? So here's what happened. So I was on the phone this morning before I got here, so it was a long conversation with our General President, Jim Hoffa. He was calling the International President of the UAW, Bob King. I did send a letter, because the good thing about what took place at the UAW is the fact that as much as they presented that contract to the membership, which a lot of crap in it, the membership had a good conscience, they turned it down by 95%. So by them turning that down, what I said earlier on how the stars are lining up properly for us, is that our timing is impeccably good. So we're letting them know, because we know that's the lab operation. That's one of the highest functionality things that they do in this whole process. And if they can't test the product, the hospitals can't even get the product. So now, again, it's a sensitive thing, but we definitely need to leverage our position and have this group of all the groups we're expecting. If we have these 3 or 4, the UAW with the lab, if they support us, and I believe that's what they're going to do with the pressure we put on them to do the right thing, that's one of the biggest cards we can have in our pocket to play. So that's what we're waiting on in that regard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a march, but I want to hear from some of you, so we can decide on where we are, because it's just like Mike said, it's just like Harriet said, Debbie Klein said, and let's see if Gary Taboni might want to say a few things.
Sure.